All right. Good morning and welcome to day 2 of the long and short of razor cutting with me and my friend Erin Purcell.
Hey, Ron.
I love to start day 2 with sort of a recap of day 1. So I'm going to ask all of you to share this morning. We do have to have you talking to the microphone so people can hear at home. But I would just love for you to share maybe an uncomfortable moment or one of those aha moments, like a new discovery or anything at all that you took away from the hands-on portion or the demos yesterday. So anyone want to share?
Do you want me to?
Summer,
okay.
or Eric can.
Hi.
Hi.
Let's see. I feel like there were moments yesterday where, and I do this even with clients, where I like want to grab the scissors just because I know that that's like the comfort zone.
Totally.
Which I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't. But those like little bits, especially like elevating, and that last little bit of that kind of tends to like fall out, or maybe the tension has gotten like, I don't know, a little weaker. Like I want to just go back and just like get that little tiny bit with the scissors, I feel like. So.
Because sometimes doesn't it feel like your fingers just get tired?
Yeah.
Of like holding that hair, and then finally you're just like, I'm gonna put that down and just cut that real quick.
Yeah, your one hand becomes like, it's on steroids. It's like,
Yeah.
the other hand.
Yeah.
They're like very visually like, whoa, this hand's like got all the muscles now.
Yeah. It does take that developing that muscle where it's so easy just to go in and take a little guy off.
Yeah.
But at first it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else want to share anything?
On my model, we did this like really cool, I guess like kind of like an undercut hidden thing behind the ear because she wanted her ears to stick out kind of in between her hair, and she had a lot of hair, and it was kind of scary to do, but it looked really good and it was super hidden, so that was cool because I probably would have never tried to do that on my own because it was a big section, but it looked really good, and you didn't even know that it was there.
Yeah, and we also kind of went back in and did a little more to make it a little, I guess, more drastic,
Yeah.
but it still was hidden, but it just made it that much more part of the design and part of the feature of that cut.
Yeah.
So that was good. So anyone else? Anyone over here want to share? 7?
Hi. Upward stroke is really hard.
The upward stroke.
Yeah. So
You were doing so good, but.
it was fun, but definitely lifting my chair up made a big difference.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't have to do the motion.
So you don't have to like stretch forever.
Yeah, which felt weird until I think you just like jacked it up for me. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you're
Felt
tall,
weird.
so yeah, and if you're short, whatever you are, you gotta remember to be comfortable when you're cutting, especially with this new tool that's different and it's got you standing in different ways and cutting differently. So yeah, that's good. Just adjust your chair and don't forget to do that. It makes a big difference.
Hydraulics.
Well, I cut myself, so that was good.
We both did.
Yeah, I loved it. It was great.
And you
right
guys were
after each
working
other.
together.
Yeah, we bonded.
It's like, don't let them work together today.
You guys are blood sisters.
I know. Oh my gosh. So that was cool because I think that made me respect the power behind it. And
You also had a hard one because you did only inversions your whole haircut.
is that hard? Okay, because
hard.
I don't know.
It is. I think that's pretty advanced
It's hard
and
to
hard.
make sense of it sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
you're like, where am I again?
Yes.
Like, what part of this haircut am I at?
Yeah, exactly.
It's totally new. It's totally different.
Yeah.
Those diagonal sections I thought were good, but you can do different sections and still do that same thing. You can do like bob sections and still create inversions this way so that you're not trying to do them in the air and the upward stroke. And like I gave you all the hits
Yeah.
so today it should be a lot easier.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I mean, I was cool with it. I had fun, and I like a good challenge, and it was nice to feel that again, like to be a student and like be really open-minded and to just let information flood in. I think it's a good practice. So, but yeah, just getting that like elbow and wrist, and it's just all the muscle memory that I don't have developed yet. So it's nice to be,
Yeah, getting the dexterity and
doing it. So thank you.
Yeah, Maddie.
For me, it was remembering to lock my fingers. I kept on pulling them down as I was like chasing my fingers with the razor,
Yep.
so I wouldn't get them. But
yeah,
then
it's easy to like move your guide.
your
'cause you're
guide,
like, oh,
yeah,
there's a
the
razor.
razor's too close.
Yeah, so
Your body, it's your body's like,
keeping
Yeah,
it in.
defense
but I think I
mechanism.
finally got like more comfortable towards
Yeah.
the end of my haircut, like tapping it ever so gently.
Yeah.
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 So you did tap your finger. I remember when you were cutting, you were kind of above. I'm like, try to tap it. And you're like, hell no.
No, Aaron came over and he was like, more like this, and then it felt more like comfortable even too.
Yeah.
You can really
After
feel
you
it
showed
take
me.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it does have less resistance.
Yeah.
What did you show her? What was the
Just
thing?
like really getting in there with the edge and like,
On the heel part?
that flow with your hand.
Yeah, it was on the heel too.
part. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Because we have a couple.
It was like, and I was like, oh, and I did
Try to, like-
the ghost teaching. I like grabbed her arm.
Yeah.
She was like, whoa.
Ah,
It's like-
see, that works really well.
The
He does
ghost
that.
teaching, I think, is so good.
Yeah, like when you're the movie when he's
We
standing.
call it, yeah. I think Misha came up with that, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good one. Cool.
Am I talking? Am I doing this right? I'm like,
David, do you want to share? Sure. Okay.
I'll share.
Since everyone else did.
I enjoyed working with you guys. Yesterday was a lot of fun and learning from you guys. And I guess my takeaway from yesterday would have been just the fine tuning that you guys were able to, the guidance you guys were able to give me. I know I stopped using the straight razor
Yeah, it's okay.
pretty quickly, but
I want you
honestly,
to pick it up
I
again
just,
today.
I'll try it for a little
Pick
bit
it up
today. but
again,
it
and just that's all it is just picking it up
Scary.
and trying it and like getting over that fear.
it's the perfect place to pick it up.
Yeah, and
What
the
we're here
fear,
for.
the fear is the thing that's like, once you get over that fear and you see that even if you do cut yourself a little bit, that it's okay.
I just
like,
cut myself
don't
in
push it.
general all the time with my
Yeah.
scissors, and it's
Yes,
too.
so much worse with that.
I'm pretty sure I did cut myself yesterday because I felt a little something in there, but it happens all the time, and especially on this finger for me because of
Same.
my heel. I usually like tap it a little too hard. But once you figure those things out about yourself, then you make sure that you're a little more careful. And remember, all it takes is just like every day, pick it up once. Especially if it's
Just
new
keep
to you.
getting yourself used to it.
Every day, like don't go a day without it because then you start to never pick it up again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you pick it up, I usually say like pick it up at the beginning of the cut for like a one length and then put it down and do your scissor work or your other razor,
Yeah.
But if you're picking it up every day and starting your haircut with it, you don't run into that like, oh, I'm out of time, forget it, I'm gonna use my scissors. Yeah?
Yeah, I like picking it up too for like the face framing because it's like soft.
Or
and
the
it's-
face framing.
Face framing, I feel like is kind of it seems the easiest with the razor.
Yeah, I
It's
think so.
going
Like the
down.
fastest,
Yeah,
right?
It's like quick and fast.
It's like I don't even want to look at my scissors when I'm thinking about frame,
You're not trying to make a nice perfect line, and you're
Yeah.
just like, oh, this is layers, just like get up in there.
Yeah. So today I have my demo is going to be long layers and some bangs and some framing and all of that. So we're going to start with that today, and then we're going to go into our shorter cut, which Aaron's going to do. What are you doing?
I'm doing a real solid, kind of blunt but soft, like shorter strokes, some wide strokes, bob.
Playing
Maybe like
around with
on
the
lip
stroke
line.
size,
Playing around with the stroke size.
creating
and
a
collapse-
design in there.
Collapse underneath, kind of like similar to Karina's, so that the hair can fall over it. It's gonna be like real, like Parisian kind of like.
Cute.
Yeah.
All right.
It'll like move around.
Ooh, a French bob. Okay, cool. So come on over.
Ay, Dios mío.
Ay, Dios mío. Yesterday we were cracking up because I said something to Aaron during the demo where I like corrected him, I guess, and he kind of got mad at me and he was like, so he brought up layers like, and then you did that, and I was like, oh, I'm like, but we couldn't stop laughing.
Wait, I forget, but
So
You disagreed. You agreed with him, but then called it something that
Totally different. And then he said, and then he looked at me and he's like, okay. And I was laughing because I was like, I didn't mean that at all. Like, yeah,
Oh,
you
the
know
medium.
exactly what it was, because that's what it was. Yeah, exactly. That was exactly it. That was the moment.
I'm like, it's thick to me, but okay.
All right, so I was
good.
wrong. Sorry about that, Aaron. Okay.
No, I like it.
So let's talk about Julia. So Julia has just been color treated. She's got these fresh highlights in here. And you can see she's got curly hair. It's just long and heavy, right? So it looks like a wave. But I know that when I cut this, it'll probably get curlier. Does it get curlier when it's shorter? Mm-hmm. So just to confirm that, you know, it's true, it will get curlier. Usually this is what curls do when they get long and heavy, is they just start to weigh themselves down. So one of the things we talked about was some bangs. And when I go to cut bangs that are curly, I always get a little bit nervous because I don't know. I've never cut Julia's hair before. I don't know what they're gonna look like. But I usually just go for it and pray for the best. You know what I mean? But for hers, she's got like these tiny little features and lots of hair, right? And I don't want to make it look too big or 80s. You know what I mean? I want to make it look a little more current and softer. And so when I look at these bangs, when did you wash your hair last?
Like 2 days ago.
Okay, so usually first day it's a little curlier?
Yeah.
Is it curlier than this? Yeah? Or kind of similar?
It depends if I blow dry it. It's a little bigger, but it doesn't stray too far from what it is now.
She's totally giving me Nicole Kidman, right? Then I looked in there, I was like, oh, young Nicole. But so I don't know. The first thing I thought of is like, because I'm that hairdresser, I'm going to start them at her nose. So I'm going to pull them tightly when I'm cutting them wet. And you see all her cowlicks and waves and everything. But when I pull it down, where does that jump up to, right? And you know it's going to get even curlier. So it might end up right around her eyebrows, or maybe too long, but at least it won't be too short, right?
Yeah.
And I won't freak out and sweat up here. And see, like, not letting her see. No, I'm kidding. So, and then also I'm thinking, like, when I look at her hairline, it's pretty strong. She's got, I mean, dense. It's pretty thick there, you see? So I do want to take, and when I think about, like, giving her little bits, I like to look at it dry first so that I know how much density or how big my section should be. Because when it gets wet, everything gets so skinny. So you don't know if you have enough or if you have too much. So notice how this hair wants to go back over the ear. So I'll probably just push that away and cut these two little pieces here. And so I'll probably cut this one into her to wrap around her cheekbone. And this one will just wrap right around her chin. Have a couple little bits. And then the bangs.
It's nice to like see you like dissecting it when it's dry, like,
Yeah.
you know.
So that's kind of like the look we're going for, but if you can picture these to be a little short. And I always like to look at that little, right where that curl, that first curl starts. You know, I'll just kind of cut it into that little point that I want it to go into. Cool? And same here. You can even cut this all together as one, or you can let it separate and play around with that. It's fun. So bangs, bits, layers are going to come up probably right around here. You can layer all of that. Where do I come up with that? Why did I think of that? Well, when I don't want it to be super short layers or get really big or super 80s. So I want to keep the layers on the long side, and I want to keep them really mermaidy and going down into a little bit of a point, but keeping that point thick so it doesn't feel too skinny on the bottom. And we're going to end up cutting this much length, maybe a little more, but I'm going to do the length last because I'm going to start with the bangs and the framing and everything else first. And I was thinking about doing this totally wet, and then I thought, oh, maybe I should just spray it down and cut section by section. So what do you guys think? Wet it down? Wet it down, because that's what we do in the salon, right?
Yeah.
So all the studying that I did around her hairline, I'll just keep that in mind, go wet her down, and then get into it. Yes?
I feel like I forget to like study the hair when it's dry sometimes. Like it's a good thing to like remember.
And like just checking your density, checking where the growth patterns open up, you know, right in there. I like to split it down the middle just to look at, you know, everything that's going on, the hairline. We got a turtleneck today, so.
Get to know it.
Yeah, but you can see her hairline. It's got these little baby curls. Just gorgeous hair, right? This color's by Jafra, who works here. It's a really pretty color. So, do you want to wet her down for me? Okay, so you can go with Eric. He's going to wet your hair down. And you don't have to wash it, just wet it. Maybe a little conditioner real quick. So for her, I already thought of like what I would use. This is one of my favorite products. It's called Curl Revive. We have it here in the salon. And it's just like one of the best curly products I've ever met. Yeah. Oh. Hey, Wendy. Wendy Isles is the creator of this product. I don't know her, but I'm like, hey, Wendy, you're welcome. No. And but it's a really good product, so thank you. And then this one is just a Mr. Smith mousse. It's got really good hold, but not too much hold. It's not one of those like thickening mousses, you know, like the, I don't know if you're familiar with the Bumble brand, but they have one that's like crazy. You put it in there and the hair, it's like you cannot get a brush through it or your fingers or anything.
Oh, really?
It's great for that reason, right? Remember the thickening spray one?
Oh, yeah.
It was just so like strong. I remember, I don't know if you were on that show with me, but Rolando had us putting like tons of mousse in the girl's hair, and it was just like insane. We're back to this.
Gets real big.
This is nice. It's not too strong or too sticky. It's got like a really nice soft hold. So we'll probably use that as well.
Yeah, you can really like pile it on and use a lot.
Sometimes I like to use a little surf spray in the roots just to get extra volume, just in the roots, because when you're adding surf to hair that already has like a frizzy texture, oh, hi, Steve. What hair that already has a frizzy texture to it, it actually can make it more frizzy or more rough. And when you're not needing that, then, you know, just keep this at the roots. And sometimes I like it in the bangs as well. So I'll be working with these products as I go. I'll start just by detangling, and that's it. Do we have any questions? About anything? How did you find your layers yesterday? Does any new layering techniques that you liked or used?
I did, I guess, short to long, but like going, how would you describe that? On the top of the head, started at the crown, going
beach
from
ball
short
sections?
Yeah.
So from back to front.
Back to front, yeah, short to long that way. And that was really cool because
And then you connected it from front to back in the back of the hair.
Yeah,
right?
so it was like.
I know, I saw, she was having you do that, and I walked over, I was like, what's going on?
Well, because I feel like
cool.
it was scary, right?
Yeah, it was.
It's like a little bit scary because you're like, that short?
Like on the top of the head.
It feels more comfortable. Right there. But it feels more comfortable to be short here and get longer towards the crown.
Yeah.
But sometimes that crown just needs that little, you know, because otherwise those layers just open up and they create volume here, right? And then flatness here.
Yeah.
It almost looks like a butt, you know? Especially if you have that kind of hair, that thick hair.
You got a butt on your head?
A bum.
Bum butt?
Yeah, so it can look like that, but if you just take that one little section and you just go a little bit shorter, it can cover up that opening. Like that's what you were looking for, is just something that would close the parting up.
Yeah, it
right?
worked good.
I feel like I look see-through on that screen. I'm like, whoa, I like.
Well, I look good. It's for dark skin, honey. Should we warm up a light for Aaron?
It's okay.
We can warm it
I
up.
was like, am I even there?
Warm it up.
Did I blend right in?
Thank you. Can you warm up that light at all? The light?
No, it's fine. It's fine. Stop.
Aaron feels, okay.
No, I just thought it was funny. I looked over. I was like, whoa. I'm like Casper. Diva over here. Where's my warm light?
I'm putting what?
Come on now.
I told Aaron that he needed to talk more today, so he's doing it. So do you remember that moment? Yeah. I was like, I didn't mean it like I was trying to tell you were wrong. It just came out that way.
I didn't think you did either. It's good. I like.
It was an assist? Yeah.
I like full reality. I'm excited to see the bangs that she's gonna have.
Me too. I'm excited that she's open to it. She's had bangs before, so it's not like new territory.
I just love curly bangs. They're so. Everyone thinks they can't have them, and it's like, no, they're amazing.
How long's it been, Julia? A couple years, and they were just
like this long.
mild. They weren't very thick bangs.
Just like some wispy guys, yes?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I've been wanting to try out things for a while.
Well, yeah, when we were talking about what we were going to do, the first thing she said is, I'm open. And then I was like, really? Because your hair is so long. And it's like, I don't know, sometimes hair can become precious to people, like I grew that out for 9 years or whatever, however long,
You get attached.
It's getting a little too drippy. So then I was like, well, she said something about, I asked her if she'd ever had bangs. Because, cutting bangs is just fun. And people are asking for bangs, right? Like, is that what's happening in the salon? Curtain bangs,
Yeah,
swoopy bangs, baby bangs. There's like so many choices and options when it comes to bangs, so it's really fun to see.
It's pretty cool too right now. I feel like all the grade school kids, like all the boys, all have long
Bowl
hair now.
cuts.
They all have bowl cuts and long hair. Like not one of them has short hair. Like I see the kids
It's
coming
all
out
like
of school
short
and
in
it's
here,
like so cool.
and then it just hangs over like a heavy bowl.
I think they call it the flow.
The flow.
It's like a TikTok
do they do it with
thing.
the
They like,
flow
he's like, can you cut my hair like the flow? And I'm like, what's that? And then they go on TikTok and they're like this, and it's kind of like feathery.
It's new,
the flow is feathery.
It's like the firefly.
The new word for feather is flow.
Oh, Dorothy?
Yeah, Dorothy Hamill.
Dorothy Hamill?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna start talking too much.
Good.
They got me going. So what are you doing now?
So this is called, it's a technique, it's called detangling. Oh, this brush is called Brush with the Best. We carry them here. They're amazing for curls because they just kind of push, see how they create that separation? And then, so when you're styling your curly clients, it's nice to brush them with this and then just kind of plop the hair a little bit, and it just goes into these great little separate chunks.
Yeah, I need to get that brush
And it's
before I leave.
great, especially for really tight coils and really, really tight curls. So I love it. Okay, so I'm looking for a part. Do you have a preference of where your hair parts? I forgot to ask you that.
No, I kind of flip it back and forth, but we'll see.
Okay.
Once I have things.
Can you ask Michelle to bring me a water, please? My
It's
throat's
kind of
feeling
like
dry.
a perfect center part. I feel it looks like. Yeah.
All right. So I'm just going to part it right down the middle in the back. Let's get started. Do I need a new razor? Did you guys find changing the blade pretty easy or kind of? So, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I'll show you guys. When you go to change the blade, be sure to only have the box and your razor in your hand. And then I usually will hold my blade like this always because I'm afraid my hand's gonna slide up and I'm gonna cut myself when I'm doing anything. So, and then I just take the side of the box and push it out as far as possible and then grab it. There's little arrows and grooves and you wanna always put them in the same direction so that you can fit all of your guys in there because at the end it gets tight.
Yeah, there's an arrow on it. It kind of shows you.
Then there's directions on the box. Push your blade out, grab it, and then I'll just always focus 100% on what I'm doing when I change my blade because I've had an accident before while I was changing my blade and it was bad. It was a bad one. I was also having a stressful day, so that probably had a lot to do with it.
I always like to remember to put the blade in the box, the old one, before you pull out the new one, because then you'll have two blades and you'll forget which one's the dull and which one's...
And that's why, like, for you, when you were like, I'm feeling stressed, I was like, don't do it. Because, like, that feeling can be just, like, awful, you know? So, you know, it's just like, I think it's a matter of getting used to this tool and doing a little bit at a time, you know?
It's just a constant reminder to always respect the blade, no matter how comfortable we become with it. And I feel like that's when we have those moments where it's like, oh, I'm so comfortable with it, I forgot to respect it. And then it just reminds you quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's like the hot stove moment.
Right in the middle of teaching class.
It's the hot stove moment, you know? Okay, so I want to keep this kind of like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the vibe I'm going for. It's not 60s, but yeah, maybe a little 60s. That's definitely not 70s or 80s. So I feel like 60s can be my reference. 60s hair, 60s fringe, and little bits.
You're just fully creating a new reference. It's right now. It's just right now.
It's just now. All right.
I like that we were thinking the same thing.
So how did I find these bangs? I didn't take her entire bang section. I just did a little bit smaller of a fringe because it's thick, it's curly. I kind of want to play around with just a little bit at a time, and then I'll add the rest of it after I do this first frame. So notice the difference in densities, right? I know I want these to be really soft and whimsical. In these, I want them to just be a little bit more chunky, I think. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna look like. That's the truth. So I'm just gonna cut it, okay? I don't know what it's gonna look like because it's curly. But I'm gonna start, what's that?
I want to see what the hair does.
Exactly. I'm gonna go long.
Go long.
And then
yeah.
I might go shorter. Okay?
Go long, stay safe. You can always cut
So
more.
I'm gonna start right there at her nose. I'm gonna keep my eyeball there where the nose is. Bring it up. And then just go straight across.
And you're doing kind of shorter strokes.
Yeah, my stroke is kind of medium. It's a little bit, I wanted to create some openings on the ends, but I didn't want to open it up so much because it's curly, so it's kind of freaking me out a little. Like, I want to see it first, like David said. I want to see what it does.
Yeah, and her hair stretches out quite a bit when it's wet. Like,
And look at, it's already cute, right?
So Karina, we always talk about how tension when we're cutting with the razor is really key. Mm-hmm. And you're cutting something that's really curly, that's going to shrink. So what was your tension on her hair?
So you still have to have tight tension when you're cutting with the razor because otherwise the hair won't cut. Remember we talked about the 3 things that you need for the hair to cut clean? Mm-hmm. And tension was one of them. And now I see like, maybe I can go shorter, right? Now that I see how the hair is reacting, I feel like maybe I can, but I don't know. I don't know yet because I think I might like it long.
yeah, they look kind of amazing already.
I like them long, right? Don't I?
Yeah.
Until in a minute and you don't.
I do, I kind of nailed it.
So
All right.
you still have one more side to go.
You promise the least and deliver the most. Okay, so I'm holding this, and this is the angle that I'm going to create for this. I'm just going to do it in one because it's skinny, okay? So I'm going to start around here.
I feel like when I'm doing those little side bits, I always want to pull them forward as if it's like a continuation of a bang, but then...
You can.
But I like that you're doing it straight out because it feels like it's addressing more of the like...
Yeah, I'm just
bulk.
kind of trying to soften it.
Softening it, yeah.
So this
Yeah.
little piece has a nice little movement. And if I don't see, then I go back in and lighten it even more. And
And that piece of hair is like a lot lighter than the bang too, so it's gonna jump a lot more.
well, it's such a mom thing.
It's like, what is it called? Selective hearing? And then you just like,
All right, so nose, keep your eyeball there, elevate. Start moving your blade. Am I standing in an okay spot?
and going straight across creates the, you know,
Straight across because I'm over directing, so I'm getting a short to long just by over directing.
Exactly,
And elevating, I have to tippy toe to get in there. So see, if you know that thing where I told you the blade has to be perpendicular to the hair and your blade has to be tilted at a 45-degree angle, then whatever your body has to do to get there, you have to do it, because otherwise you're going to be cutting on the flat.
yeah.
And your line's not going to be as great. And some little bits. Yeah, you can bring these forward, Summer, and you could cut them forward. That's over directing it a little. Here is just bringing it straight out. I think it's like, for me, it feels like it'll be lighter if I hold it here. So.
And I feel like
This one I'm doing a couple, you see?
yeah.
One of the things when I was working backstage, I got to work on Guido Palau's shows a couple times, and he's intense, but it's fun and exciting because he's such a master and he's such an artist at what he does. And one of the things that he said when I was doing a model is he's like, don't make it symmetrical. Symmetry is ugly. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's always stuck in my mind, you know, he just went up to her and changed one side of it, even though it was parted down the middle and everything was really balanced, and he just like jacked up one side a little bit, and then he was like, perfect, you know? And I could see that. I could see that. I wasn't like, I was like, what the hell are you talking about, right? Because you can feel that way sometimes when you're back there. They're like,
Well, and so
okay,
many,
now it's better.
yeah.
You know, and you're like, what did you just do?
And so many people are like, it's engraved to think that symmetry is what it needs to be. It's like, everyone's always measuring it exactly the same. It's like, it's not that. You don't want it to be really, like.
And then, you know, just like after you cut them, you want to QVC them, meaning like that's what one of my instructors always say, Tom. He used to just be like, QVC it. After you cut it, show them what they can do with it. You know, can they still move it to the side, or,
Yeah.
you know, what are some things they can do?
QVC, what's that mean?
QVC, like the.
Oh,
like,
the
you know,
show where you like are selling products
like,
on
and
TV.
your new
Yes, yes. Diane von Furstenberg, right?
Yes. Okay, so this is where they're at, right here. They're looking really cute. Yeah, you could take this shorter or layer it, right? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna layer that little piece. So I'm gonna keep it the same length, and the layer is I'm using a layer sort of as weight removal. So I'll lift that little center piece and layer it. This is what we did to your cute model yesterday, your little Chloe Savini model. Every time I looked over at her, she was like this. I was like, dang, work. I was like, work. She was taken with her, self. She's like, dang, I look good. Yeah, it's cute. It was so cute though. I was like, she's cute.
They're living.
It's like perma-pose.
I'm feeling myself.
Okay, so look how cute these little guys are. Like all these little meow.
Those look great.
You can
now
always,
I can see what you mean by the 70s inspo.
Yeah, you can always change it up too. If you're like, well, that one's cute, but this one's not so cute. How can I make this one cuter?
Get it.
So I'm still, kind of carving that little vibe that I want, you see? And that one, I like him, he's cute. So now I'm just gonna take a bigger section and get the full bang, whatever we've got here, and see.
You're kind of coming down from the back of the bang to like the front of the ear.
Mm-hmm. So this is the rest of her bang. And I didn't make that up, I'm just using her head shape. That's the rest, and it's, I'm also like using the full bang. Because this is her recession, and it looks like a upside down triangle. So the point of the triangle is where their bang on their, it's the bangs that they have. It's the cards they were dealt. I didn't make it up.
It'll tell you.
Yeah, so I'll do the same over here, find that opening. There it is, you see? How it's like right at that point. And keep my little bits out, my new friends, or your new friends. Okay, so these guys, you can decide what to do. You could either add them in, which I'm not gonna do. I'm gonna create another little piece that drops. So I'm gonna go from that guide, and I'm gonna see these large strokes? See how big they were? So target length was here, and this is all weight removal, okay? So remember, the bigger your stroke, the more weight removal, and those pieces just kind of fall further past the first ones. But I'm using them kind of as a reference, so they're in there. There they are. So I see that, I enter where those are, and I go all the way down to my finger.
And you're trying to like maintain a little bit of length, so the broad stroke helps with that, right?
Yeah, and I'm trying to take out lots of weight. Normally you can do that faster, but sometimes if you do, you might just take off the whole thing and it's gone.
Yeah.
So slowing down a little bit just to really achieve that soft connection to the first fringe. And then these guys, they're just on their own. You can use the flat to soften them even more. And then here, I'll just soften this even more. And this is all just weight removal. And I'm using the guides in there, So like, I have to stand on this side of her to do this.
I was like, don't be.
Like this, so I use that as a guide, just kind of soften even more. So I just have these really soft pieces. And then I'm gonna go further back and start an actual layer. And this is about 1 inch past the bang to the top of the ear. Okay, so in here, I'm just gonna start a frame. And I'm gonna start with chin. So I'm using her bangs, I'm using her nose, I'm using things on her as my guide. So I'm gonna start right around chin, let it fall, keep my eye there, and nice big strokes until you get a little further out to your length. So you can achieve your length. I'm using chin. So see how this stuff isn't necessarily relating to the stuff I already cut? But maybe it is. Because see, she has pieces there. So if you lose your tension, just go back.
Re-grab it.
Do a little measure, like see where I'm at. I need about an inch off of this. Cool. So I have these pieces here that are going to be heavy. So I'm going to soften them, right? Because I over-directed and I started a layer there. So I'm just going to soften them because I'm anticipating that they're going to need it.
And it always softens it a lot more when you hold it up in the air like that.
Yeah, because it helps that weight removal disappear. We talked about that yesterday, right? Like when you do some weight removal, sometimes it just shows up like a feature of the cut. And you didn't mean for it to, you just wanted it to disappear. So how to keep all of that really. Oh, really?
Excuse me.
So I'm gonna add some product, so as it's drying nicely.
What product is this?
This is the Curl Revive. And I'm just kind of putting it in there where the hair gets.
It looks good.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
And it's nice to like do this to like set them up, because if there's a mirror in front of them, they're just kind of like looking at their hair already
They're like,
starting to
oh
look good.
no, what did I do?
Putting them in a good mood.
Or they're like, oh.
Yeah, it's
they're
either
doing
one.
hair face.
One or the other. I'm really excited for why did I go this short?
All right, so, okay, and now I'm gonna keep going in that same sort of idea, letting the hair split open where it wants to. And now I'm going all the way to center back, so my next section looks like this. Let's see. Okay. And now I'm using my guide. Now I am actually using a guide. So.
Sometimes it's cool too when you're like brushing it at natural fall, and then you can see where the hair splits naturally. That can like also be your guide if you're having a hard time like finding a guide. You can kind of like let the hair tell you where it is.
Getting my good tension. Yeah?
This is one of those moments too where you took such a large, thick section, but when you really get down to it at those ends, it was still really skinny.
It's pretty skinny, right?
And so sometimes I feel like we take like a really skinny party and then we just can't see anything. So it's really like,
grab all of it.
Focus on like what you're cutting. It's like if there's not enough hair, then add more to it a lot of times.
And you guys
especially with
can
the razor.
see, can you see that? Like where I left off? Okay, so it's right there, just fell. And that's kind of like where our length is going to-ish. So now that I'm almost there, I'm gonna drop my elevation so that I can get a stronger perimeter, okay? So I'm dropping it. If you wanted it to continue to get smaller, then you could keep elevated and keep cutting. But if you're now, oh, now I want strength and I want this to look thick.
Natural fall.
Natural fall. But I'm still over directing, so I get a little bit of that cascading curl in the back. And that's how much length we're taking off. But it looks nice and thick, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And for styling her, we're gonna style her totally natural. And we're gonna let her air dry while Erin is cutting.
Yeah, her hair is so, curls are so nice. Sometimes when people have really nice curls like that and they like want me to blow dry their hair, it's like really depressing.
You're
like,
depressed.
what?
You're like, I'm depressed.
And they live with it all the time, so you're like, okay, fine.
went longer, huh?
I'm trying to think of something to ask. I can't think of anything. Eric, help me out. It's getting too quiet. Sometimes it's nice, just like.
Sorry, I get really focused and quiet when I'm thinking about my balance. Trying to make sure that one side isn't longer than the other. It's a little bit.
What does it look like in the back?
Are these kind of like just another version of round layers, kind of, since you're over-directing everything forward?
Yeah, so they're round, so I don't have like a square bottom. Let's see. Hold on while I adjust some things. I'm trying to get like that chunky, clunky piece a little bit softer. So just going in and lightening it up, but not really changing my length too much.
And also, like, you weren't taking out like much weight in the bottom because like that'll help keep it have more integrity and stay thick.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what I'm doing now, I'm just creating balance. And that just takes like a little, sometimes back and forth. Imbalance, again, like doesn't necessarily mean symmetry, right? But it just creates, when you look at it, it feels balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Remember yesterday, my Winona model, she was like, I'm open to anything. I'm totally into those like asymmetry haircuts, you know, like one short side and the other, and I was like, I don't do those. So it's like, it's a fine line for me, you know? Like it doesn't necessarily need to be totally symmetrical, but I think, hey, if you want to wear that look, wear it, right?
Have at it.
Cool. But I don't want to do it.
Wouldn't that be interesting if like
can I
one
send
day,
them
like, wouldn't that be interesting if one day you like start like loving it?
Oh, I know. Would I ever though? I don't know.
All right. Someone's gonna make it so cool. You're like, I'm like living for it now.
It's got to be some cool actress that does it.
The
You know?
boot cuts are coming back out, you know?
I mean, I loved it when I first started cutting
No
hair.
more
'cause
skinnies. Boot cut. We got boot cut now. We're back at it.
Skinny Khloe Kardashian. No, skinny. Anyway, I don't want to do it, the asymmetry. What were you going to say, Eric, when you started doing hair?
I first started doing hair because I didn't have really any training. I loved asymmetry because I couldn't nail getting something perfect. So it was like, we're going to do one side over here, and then we'll just like always some version of like a cheekbone
You're like, this
to
is
like
going to be
jawline.
something like this. It's going to be like
this,
funky.
and something will happen in the back. I'm not sure
But
what.
I do kind of like love like a perfect bob that's like a tiny bit off, like a tiny asymmetric.
I like that too.
Where it's like snitch. Like,
I like that.
you know, like Queen's Gambit, or I don't know. Hers is kind of like that, right? Or was it perfect?
Like a self-done bob.
Yeah, like you did it yourself.
Fine.
It's not like crazy asymmetric, but like slightly off. It's
Okay.
like it's wrong, but it's right. I remember like when we were working, I remember Tom, like one time we were cutting and you do the scissor over comb and one part you cut too short and it looks like a chunk came out. And then we like ended up like making that like cool or whatever. Like we started like purposely like putting chunks in guys like fades. Where it looked like they got like chewed up and people were coming in like asking for us to like mess their fades up. It was kind of neat. It's like, no, that's cool. It's supposed to look like that.
Okay. Constantly looking, constantly judging. I judge my own work.
So you're just kind of like going in and making sure that it's all balanced and flowing.
Yeah, like right now I'm just finishing that last section. I just parted it right down the center back. And I'm just using my previous guide. And now I am lowering my elevation for that last chunk.
It's cool how you're doing your length in the front. and
I
not
love
the
doing
back.
length in the front for curls. I'll do a little in the back too, probably
check
if
it
it's
out.
too
Too pointy.
if it's too pointy, but by holding it low, usually you take care of that. Like if you
Yeah.
over direct, you get that really pointy guy. But if you hold it low, you usually get something a little more thick. And sometimes it's fine. You know, if anything, it might be like
Yeah, I can always tell when like someone's
Two
like
pieces.
it's like when
Put your
clients
head
put
up.
their hair themselves in the front and then it goes in the back. It's all pointy.
just shaking it out. So, because I've been combing it small to her head this whole time.
When you came in with your hair when it was dry, that's just like air dried, those curls that you had?
Yeah. Okay.
Slept on, air dried kind of vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the best.
Okay.
With product, of course, otherwise it's frizzy.
So I think I'm going to take this up. So even though I took everything and I combed it this way and I cut it this way, I'm going to end up cutting a lot of this again. But this gives me like a really nice perimeter by doing that, and I was able to establish that. So now I can come and change this. And so that's the last thing I'm going to do is just the layer. Now she's giving me Kelly McGillis. Like, you know, young Top Gun Kelly McGillis.
What'd you say?
Kelly McGillis, that's like with her new bangs. All right, so here's my length. And if you want to keep it strong, you should keep a few of those guys. Right, like just a couple. So maybe that's a good guide, so keep it strong.
Mm-hmm.
So usually that's around O bone. Does that make sense? Like that length that I'm using. So I can take everything out except where the O bone is. And then that's my guide back there. That's my guide back there, and then my guide in front. You can see my guide in front. So I can go in and I can cut it off like this, where I'm taking out weight and length at the same time. And you go back in and you just check to see what your line looked like. Did I make a good line, or is it really weird?
So on this section that you took, Karina, you've slightly directioned the hair back.
Yeah. Because I have all this other stuff that I already cut, right? But in here I can lighten all this.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit, so. And just keep lightening it until you like it. It's looking good, right? And I didn't want to give her like a shag or a mullet or anything like that.
Yeah, you're making it like nice and seamless with all the weight removal.
Yeah, just kind of trying to lighten that stuff up and break up any chunky pieces. All right, so now I've done that. And my next section is just like how Aaron layered his model yesterday. It's just gonna go around
Head shape.
to center back, and then just part that down the center. And then when you're combing, it's almost like you're giving your kid a ponytail for school. You know, you just get it all up.
And you're also like slightly like coming towards like the ending of the haircut. Is this also why you're kind of letting it dry and not keep spraying it?
Yeah, I don't want to keep spraying it because I don't want her to take forever to dry. Now you can see my guide in the center. So there it is. As soon as I get there, I'm gonna wiggle those guys out.
Let them fall out.
Ah, don't go anywhere.
You're not cutting them, you don't
And
need to
I'm
hold
cutting
them.
past, yeah, past them. And then again, I'll just check. Sometimes you do all that stuff, you're like, what did I even do? And so you have to check it. It's like, you did a bunch of weight removal, and maybe you left some guys. So those guys, I'm gonna get them. And that's not easy to do.
And when you're cutting up like that vertically, you're always gonna cut away from your hand too, like how she is.
And this is the rest of my section. Like this little Gibson girl happening right here.
Yeah.
So
So
cute.
good. I did my friend's hair like that for her wedding last October.
I always find that hard to do. I'm
She
like, how
wanted
do
to
you
give
keep
like a
it?
straight up early 1900s Gibson girl. It was so fun. I was like, FYI, we need to do a trial because I'm gonna have to make your hair into a rat's nest, and you're gonna, if we don't do it before your wedding, you're gonna literally start crying when you see what I have to do to your hair.
I remember I did that on someone's wedding day where I backcombed the shit out of it, and one of her bridesmaids came in and she was like, "Oh my God, you look crazy!" And I was like, and the bride started freaking out. She's like, "Did we talk about this?" And I
The
was like,
Napa wedding?
Yeah.
Yes, and we're like, no.
Yeah, Eric
You're
was
like,
there
I have to
doing-
build a foundation. Just relax.
Yeah. Oh my God, he looks so crazy.
I know. I was
like, bitch,
we have.
get out.
Calm yourself. Breathe. Don't forget.
Out.
Breathe.
Out of my working area.
It quickly went from calm and peaceful to
That was it.
the nerves kicked in for the bride.
That was the moment when everything started getting stressful. When that lady said, "Your hair looks crazy."
The benefits of a trial.
The benefits of a trial. I did give her a trial, but I didn't backcomb it as much because I was like,
Well, because that's the trial. You're like, oh, here.
yeah, I
you
was
go
like,
there.
I know that, yeah. And she was going to meet her husband right afterwards. I don't want to give her the look. Can we keep it private until the day? Okay. So see, it's a
Getting
lot
to
of
know
hair.
it.
I'm just getting very organized. Okay. So now I did all that. And yeah, it's getting frizzy. I see it.
I kind of like it.
It does that, right? I mean, it's just like, it's really pretty though. Okay, so I'm applying a little bit of product and her hair just does soak it right up. It's looking good, right? Now I'm really just looking at what else does it need? It needs to be broken up in here a little more, so I'm gonna do that. And then I'm just looking at the basic shape, kind of evaluating it, like
It's
what
not
else?
basic though.
What else does it? What else does it need?
It's like lioness.
Okay. So now all it really needs is my signature. So it's going to be just a few more pieces in here.
The little friends.
I do see that there's a side that's a little longer, but I don't know if it's from the back or what. Yeah, it is. Okay. Let me get that. I'm just gonna do that last. I'm gonna finish this stuff here. So I want a little bit more in the crown. I want to break that up a little bit more. So I'm letting it open up so I can see the real situation. So I just feel like right in here, I can break it up a little bit more. So I'll take a bit of a football, like a tiny little almond, or like a big almond, actually. I meant like a tiny football, and then I was like, then it made no sense at all.
A big Brazil nut.
A little almond. All right. So in this guy, I'm going to break it up a little. I'm not going to go too close to the scalp or anywhere in here where it can create too much, activity. So I'm going to start like right in there. I'm thinking about breaking this up. Like
and you're also being careful not to like take too big of chunks out now because you want it to soften, right?
Mm-hmm. And then I do a big old one.
So it's like you're being a lot more mindful of like.
Mm-hmm. And then right in here, just kind of tippy toe, get up there.
Are you topping your fingers when you're going up with your razor?
Did I?
I don't know.
Let's see.
Probably like a tiny bit, but it's like you just start to like.
Okay, I'm taking the area here that's between the crown and the bang, and I'm going to do a little connection from the crown, from the bang.
Sometimes she's not going all the way to her finger because she's not trying to make it skinny on the ends. She's just trying to remove some of the bulk. So sometimes we go all the way to the ends. We start to make the ends feel a little skinnier. So if you're trying to just release some of the weight,
okay,
you don't always have to go all the way through.
You see that? And you see the bang, and then you see the top, right? Because I did everything here. So now there's something here that hasn't been touched. I mean, it's been touched, but it needs to connect a little more. So let the bangs fall out. And just lighten that top section.
Nice.
And it's getting really, really dry.
But their hair also looks really good when it's like pretty wet and dries.
Yeah, but it also
wet.
helps me see like where if I leave it alone, I can see better. If I don't over wet it. And all this. Yeah. Thanks, Aaron. It's like just agreeing with me. There's that little piece that I saw earlier. So I'm going to bring it here and cut it here so I don't change the shape or anything that I did previously. But I just know it's a little too long.
Well, that's cool. I like that. I like how you're not doing it in the back.
Yeah, because I still want it to have that like flow back.
Yeah. See, because I probably would have just cut it from the back.
I was very tempted to do that. I probably would have in the salon. Done. But I'm trying to show you guys some art. Just kidding.
She's trying to show you consistency.
Trying to be a good example. Okay. Ooh la la. It's easy to get lost in really thick head of hair. So you gotta stay so organized. And then now that I did that, now when I do a little scissor work there, it's not like gonna change too much. So I know you guys at home are watching and you're like, will you just put something in her hair?
The frizz.
Why'd you decide to switch to scissors, Karina, for the length?
Just because I want to create that like one last like,
Like a little bulk.
a little bulk and scissor line there. I do that sometimes with my long layers. At the very end, I'll just go and like blunt the wispy guys on the bottom. And it gives them like that haircut a little more longevity. Okay, so I'm gonna wet it. A touch, I'm gonna set it. I don't know if my bangs are done though. Let's look at her. Do we like them long?
Pretty good.
I like them too. We're gonna leave them.
Yeah, because then you could do that flip still and create that kind of.
Yeah, and I feel like she can even wear them directly over to her face as well. Like they'll shrink up Enough.
Okay, so I'm wetting it. Just like over the top of all this like dry stuff.
Is this just water?
This is just water. And then I
You know what you can
have-
do with the Mr. Smith foundation is you can put it in your water and shake it up.
Oh
And it
yeah.
creates like a little
Hold
water.
A little hold water. Not holy water.
Maybe.
Some hold water.
Some hold water.
Okay, so I'm gonna set these curls, kind of like a wet set. This is what I would do in the salon so that I could dry her hair just natural. But I'm still looking at my cut. This is how I look at this is how I check my cuts. So I would just move them around, shake them up, shake them up, shake them up, shake them. Check for balance. There's a little something here that I gotta get. You see how it feels just a little heavier here than here? Here? Okay.
That's like when you're really thankful that you like don't go out to dinner with her after the haircut and you're like sitting there like, oh.
You're like, that
scissors are at
side's
the
way
salon."
heavier. Oh, shit. Should I tell her?
You're like, can you come back tomorrow?
No, I do that. I'm like,
That's just when you
I
grab
need
the
to
steak
fix
knife.
that one thing.
Yeah, where's the steak knife?
I used to have my scissors with me all the time in New York because we didn't have our own station. So
You just bring it home.
Yeah, so you just usually just had it on you. And so that would happen a lot. We're like, I'll cut it right now. Let's go outside. I'll cut it right now.
It's like quite
You want some
literally.
bangs? Doing bangs in the street?
We forgot to do it at work.
Okay, so here I'm just kind of angling my angle a little bit more. It's just angling my angle to soften it. See? I like that much better.
Beautiful.
Let me just see.
And D Online has
How much
said-
time do I have?
You don't have any more.
I don't?
No,
Wait, what were Oh, perfect.
Oh, cool. Wow, look at that. Psychic. You knew you had a little bit.
You should have fun music that you play, like on Jeopardy.
What is she gonna do next?
Oh yeah, that's like what I was doing.
Yeah, but just an extended version.
Yeah.
I mean, even when you pick that up, that density of hair through
That's
the whole
one of my
top and
favorite
crown.
moves.
Okay, so let me set it real quick. Okay, I might need help with this. Do you want to help me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to do. So I can put this down now. Am I allowed? Do I have to hold it? Oh.
Okay. So I'll tell you what to do. All right. So let's start here. What'd you say? Type A? Tighter. Oh, tighter.
Can you spray?
Yes, I need water. Okay, hold here. Water. And I'll just hang it. Sometimes you gotta get organized first. This, hey, this is like rad when people come up and help you like this. Never gets
Fashion week.
It's Fashion Week. Great.
You're not being shy.
That was a lot. I'm gonna put it on there. Okay. And then I'm just gonna go over it with a little mousse. The mousse is just gonna be like such a little amount because first of all, it turns into a lot. But I just want a little extra hold. And just see that curl? Yeah. That is like the cutest curl. Okay, so now I'll take my brush and I'll just brush through. I didn't take any bulk out back here too much. I kept it thick. That's a choice that I made, but you guys can, you can
I like it.
you can take bulk out of it. See how the ends are still dry? I don't want them to be, so I'm gonna just take this and wet it. And that'll just have them, they'll just dry so much prettier, okay? Okay? Hold this. I just noticed yesterday that I say okay too much. I do. No? Okay, we'll work on it. People have their things, like some people say so.
Or yeah. Or yeah.
Like.
There's a lot of yeah.
Like a valley girl.
You are like a valley girl. I kind of love that you're like a valley girl. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Like.
Most people can't afford this much product, so I don't want to use it. I want it to be, you know, realistic. What someone could use. Okay. So, a little mousse again. And then the brush. I know this maybe seems sloppy, huh? But I'm in a rush. And this happens for real in the salon, right? You're like, come here. Let me grab Right? Do you have a tender head?
Not at all.
Yay. Good to know. Good news. That's good news. Okay, see how pretty it's looking? So you got to commit to this because otherwise you're going to have frizzle frazzle. And it's going to be frizzy anyway, right? This is just what curly hair does. So when you start out sealing the hair a little more, if hair is like, this is a tighter curl. I mean, if this were a looser curl, I could probably like hand dry it,
Yeah.
right? But because it's not, it's that curl, it's like, I am curlier than you think. So let's just diffuse me, cool? Cool.
Or let me air dry.
Yeah. Okay, so a little on top. And we'll put the rest there and here. I love those little pieces around her face. Last section, I'm just gonna wet it and add a little curl revive. Just one pump. Thank you. It's a little small area here, so we don't need a ton of product. And then the brush. She's gonna sit under,
The heat.
my brush broke. It did.
Where at? What?
Right there. Missing. It's got the summertime teeth.
It's the tooth fairy coming tonight.
All right, hold on. Last section is here. Okay. And here, those ones look pretty already.
Hi. The brush is cool how it's like a comb, kind of like how they...
It's like, it really is like a magical brush.
Yeah, how they're not connected. It's like a pick with a comb.
Okay, did that set help at all to watch?
Yeah.
Okay, because I think you just can't get, you should really treat every hair similarly, you know? Like just be plentiful with it. Yeah, what does it need? And then take your time to do that. Take your time to talk to them about it. You know, maybe set your little curl that looks really cute and then put her under the hood. I need a little water for this section here.
It's really helpful to see this because I feel like, especially with the crown stuff, those crown layers that get so fuzzy so fast, I feel like I get stuck in that. And then I'm like, then I'll try and like take the weight up, but then I end up losing the shape, and then it's just getting bigger, and then like my next client's here, and I'm spiraling, and
Summer, I know that. I have been there. Yes, I know it. You guys know it? You're just like, you start sweating a little, and you're like,
It's not as hot today as it was yesterday. It's nice.
and you're like, you're going under the hood.
yeah, right. And then, but
that's-
it's good to see how much product you're using, and just it's like breaks it down in a nice way, I guess.
So after I do my little set too, then I have her, see these ends here, they're too dry, so I would wet these a little bit more with this. Just like push them together a little, seal them, like little slugs.
Seal the deal.
Little slugs. Okay, so hold that. Then I have my model look up to the sky, and then I just shake it out a little bit. Not too much, because you don't want to create frizz, but that's good. And then you put her under the hood. You can put little clips in there if you believe in all that, but I don't. I just do this. But I like how it looks, I just don't do it. Cute. So after she's done drying, we'll go ahead and shake it out.
Drama.
She just looks like a princess or something.
Like a princess.
Okay, yes? Good? Okay.
Yay.
All right, I'll take this, and I'm gonna go put her under the hood, and do you wanna speak meanwhile I do that?
Yeah.
Thank you. She's gonna be on medium heat, too. Okay,
Gun this thing.
you can sit right here.
Okay, perfect.
Just don't touch it.
We'll be back in 2 minutes. Going live.
And we're
Hello.
back.
And we're back. Was that more than 2 minutes?
So, what are you gonna be doing?
This is my model Yesenia. I really love her glasses, and I really think that doing a super strong kind of lip chin line, solid bob all the way around. So it's gonna it'll be cool. I think it'll look really nice with these glasses. You can get some earrings that are longer than the haircut. And yeah, she has medium hair. She has a lot of it. And then for her hairline, back here, it's somewhat, when I'm doing a bob this length, I like to really get to know how the hairline is in the back and how it's gonna look, because when it's really short, this is gonna be exposed, most likely. And hers is like, it's actually a little above where her chin is, which is nice, yeah. So I can really just, I'm gonna collapse all this stuff back here and make it really short and really soft and just really kind of get rid of it all. And then once I get up closer to the occipital, not quite that high, but closer to it, then I can start letting the length happen, and then I can let it fall on top of that melted hairline. Does that make sense? But hers is pretty soft and it's pretty nice, and it's a lot higher up. Like some people's hairline might go below their chin, so then you're really gonna have to really melt all of that off in order to create that short line. Sometimes if you really want a short line, that's like up at their cheek, maybe, like there's some of those really strong bobs right now where it's like here, then you'll have to end up doing like a graduation thing in the back, because you'll really see it.
Or like an undercut.
Or an undercut, yeah.
If they had like that head shape, like graduation sometimes doesn't work on everyone, depending on density, but it looks like graduation.
Yeah.
Even if you just like.
Or you
take
could
it down.
even like take it further and like shave it,
Yeah.
Like the line really, and just have it completely shaved.
Let's bring it back.
Yeah. But yeah, and then I want to have a nice heavy line. I'll take out bulk and stuff.
I like what you said about changing up your strokes. So can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, some of it I'm gonna do super small strokes, and some of it I'm gonna do broad strokes. I'm just gonna kind of see how heavy it's feeling. I feel like on the top of the head, I'm probably gonna keep it, the top layer that's gonna be the longest. I might keep the stroke pretty short because I think I want this top layer to be pretty blunt. At least at first, I want to like look at it like that. And then I'll probably do more soft strokes underneath because it's going to be heavy underneath there. And the line's going to distribute it. The line's going to like be created no matter what with how much hair there is. So a little softness underneath will be nice with the heaviness on top. Yeah, I think that's describing it all. It's gonna be, I'm not gonna be taking too much weight out, but my weight and my removal of all that's gonna be with the stroke, because I do want it to be really heavy. I think I had a picture, but I don't know where my phone is.
Oh, it's right here. You should show.
Because I want it to be heavy, like.
I love this picture.
I want it bulky. Where's that picture at? Oh, here it is. So, do you guys see this? It's kind of like the inspo.
Similar hair. It looks like they might have similar hair texture too.
Are you going that short?
I'm not going to necessarily go that short. I'm going to maintain maybe a little bit more length, but I think. Oh, what am I doing? Oh. Y'all see that?
Yeah, so when you think of that length, like the shorter length, that one's with a bang, right? That one has a bang.
Yeah, this one has a little bit of a bang. But I think, I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna like get a tiny bit longer on her, like just like a little bit. Kind of want to do like more around the chin. Whoa, I'm like looking at the thing.
Between the lip and chin.
Between the lip and chin, yeah. And I just think it's gonna look so cute with the glasses too. That's like what made me want to cut this haircut was her glasses. I was like, wait, we need that. So yeah, so I'm gonna use a lot of moisture products. I don't want really any hold. I just want moisture, softness, maybe a little shine. But I'm not really worried about hold because I want it to just be the way her hair is. I don't want to like add too much. It's going to be nice and thick and solid on its own. So for me, I just want moisture. Moisture and softness. Did I say that like 7 times already? Okay. Can you, what was that? What did I say? Can you get a rinse for me? I don't know, whatever you think. I'm sure you're good at that. I'm sure you know what to do. Yeah, so I wonder what your models are going to be like, what you guys are going to end up doing today. Do that super dramatic bob, short hair. Everyone did kind of long hair yesterday, huh?
I did short.
Oh, you did do the short hair. That's right, the inversions. Oh, maybe you'll get a long one today then. So I'm sure we can make that work.
But it's always a challenge working with shorter hair, I think. The longer hair, you just like pull it. It's like easier to manage.
Yeah.
Short one hair.
Yeah.
Some people feel opposite. Like they do
Want a
better
soda?
short hair with their razor than with long hair. Do you guys feel like maybe started that way at all? Or?
It did for me.
Yeah, like more shortcuts where like razor.
My introduction to the razor was, if it's a short haircut, give me that razor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much more like easy and quick and organic.
It's a lot more seamless.
It took time to apply that certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think bobs can be tough too because you're like trying to get the heel in on that other side and it's just a little hard to get that like.
Yeah, and I'm going to create a lot of softness too in the back of her head with the flat of the blade. So that'll be cool to see that, like using the flat, because I feel like the flat's not used that much.
Yeah.
So.
How do you guys feel about using
Michelle,
the
will
flat?
you get me a soda?
Could you elaborate more on the flat?
The flat, yeah. Can you show them on the blade?
What was that? Oh, yeah.
So when you're using the flat of the blade, it looks a little bit more like, it's literally flat on the hair. So your blade is like flat on the surface of the hair.
Yeah, so, you know, the flat, right? This.
That's the flat.
This is the edge. It's gonna like melt it, like it's gonna make it really, really extremely soft and diffuse it and melt.
There's not going to be any line. It
There's
kind
no
of
line.
erases the existence
Oh, thank
of the
you.
line.
Yes, I need a little sip. I got jealous of Karina.
I'm sorry. We should. That's like when you bring a candy to school and and you eat it in front of everyone.
That's my cup of water. I know.
water
I feel like
out.
water is more appropriate, right, for the thing on screen. I'm just joking. You can't look right. Yeah, like when we.
You guys are going to go buy LaCroix.
Does that make sense about the flat? Yeah.
And then when you use like more the tip, is that what it's called?
The tip.
The front part.
Yep.
Or like the edge,
The heel.
the heel, depending on what direction you're doing it.
Yeah, the heels. Like if you're right-handed, the heels to the left,
And that's where you
and
get,
the tips to the right.
okay.
And if you're left-handed, the heels to the right. And
But
then
there's
the tips to the
also
left.
tip flat and tip edge.
Tip flat, tip edge.
Yeah, so like if you're using the tip and you just kind of want to like get in there and shave a neck, you know, you're using the flat and it's just on the tip of the blade, right? So you can use the flat either the whole blade or just so it like on the back end or on the front end. Yeah, it's crazy. There's so much you can do with this razor. And it's like the introduction to flat is always really weird. It's like, oh, it's this, and then people want to go on the edge and just cut it, right? They just stay on the flat. And I think because you're going to be using it, we'll really focus on showing them
Yeah, I'll
what that
do
looks like. You can use the flat when you do those bangs too. Like you can take that first section and just use the flat to start your bangs and it just diffuses the line. So if you're trying to get away from that like strong line, try using the flat.
Okay.
Maybe you can, oh, by the way, all your models are open.
Oh.
So if you want to do short, talk them into it, you know? Like use your power, your hairdresser power. Be like, want to go short? Or you have your ways. You guys have your ways.
I'm probably gonna put, I don't know, I want like a little something in there right now.
So don't, if they're like just a little bit off the bottom, they're supposed to be open.
What?
Their models today.
Oh, they're all open to having whatever.
Yeah, they're supposed to be open.
So you can
right,
do, like-
Amber?
Somebody do like a real fun wild mullet. That feels so good, that milk stuff. That was just a little moisture.
I love that stuff. And it smells so good.
All right, let me get
I know all
a
of
comb.
them. The shampoo, conditioner are like, my mom used to use this stuff when I was younger called Gee, Your Hair Smells Terrific. Do you guys remember that?
Gee, your hair smells terrific. I never.
It was a long title, but that's what it was.
got no
Gee, your
idea.
hair smells terrific. And that shampoo, the Reverie, kind of reminds me of it. Yeah. It's like really fragrant, smells so good.
So I'm just gonna brush it all out with my wide tooth comb. And then I'm also gonna do similar to what Karina did, just brush it all back and then just kind of find the natural part. But I also kind of want it to be a little centered, even if it was really pushing to one side. I'd probably, like, even if she has like a more prominent part on one side or the other, I kind of like to do these cuts a little more symmetrical. But then if she does like really hardcore right on one side, you could do it like that, but when it falls back over, you're gonna have these like long pieces. And then just all the way down to the back. And with this haircut, it's gonna be real, I really wanna be like focused on sections. Are you able to take your glasses off maybe? I kinda like don't want you to because they're so cute, but. This is gonna be real like section heavy, like a lot more like, the sections are gonna be a lot more technical than like the last haircut. Because I really wanna stay really like organized, right? All right, let me turn her around. So I'm gonna separate it all the way down the middle, from the front to back. And then I'm gonna comb it over ears to just get it all organized so I can start right at the bottom of the nape. Some people like to take their nape section out first. I like to get it all over the ears first. And then you just gotta get it all going. I'm not being too rough, am I? Okay. Okay. But you really wanna get all the grain going. And this will take a second to set up, but then once it's set up, you're gonna be able to just take your sections and start getting wild. Look at it all over.
And this is something like, I think some of you see that we're not using clips, and maybe you don't use clips, or maybe you do, but a really good way to get familiar with the hair, the head shape, you know, everything about her head of hair this is a really great way to get familiar with it.
So, I gotta be mindful of the camera. All right, so, you know, there's this little piece right here. I'll just deal with that later, it's fine. So now you can really see your hairline, right? This is like, this stuff right here. You can pull that out. And then you kind of, and then that's when I can start using the flat too, you know? And there's some right here, but they're already pretty like soft and short on their own. And then here's this stuff right here, you know, like, you can just get it out. And then see where it pushes itself. And this is gonna be my first section. Just a little one.
And you said you're going to be using the flat?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm gonna use all of it, but yeah, the flat right now. So I'm gonna get it a little wet. Trying to think of what side I need to be on for the. Oh, that's not a pocket. That's a pleat. It's a pleat. My pleat teased me. How rude. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna just like hold this straight out, and it goes this way, right? The hair like pushes this way. So I'm gonna just hold it straight out, and I'm gonna cut right up against it, and I'm gonna get the flat on there. And I'm gonna just slowly get rid of it. And see how soft that stayed? And there's some long pieces. You're gonna miss some sometimes, and just gotta go back in and get them.
Nice. So the flat should take longer to get through the hair than the edge does.
And like some of this I might end up like shaving off completely when we're done, but right now I'm gonna like leave it and not commit to that yet. Like I might just get rid of this stuff. Like here's a little bit longer right here, so I'm gonna pick it up and just get a little more. And then same with these ones. So yeah, I'm just gonna like leave those for now, cause like I might like them later, I might not, but why get rid of it, right? If you're not sure.
You're just getting it out of your way.
Same thing with this one. Yeah, I'm just kind of getting it out of my way for now.
Water.
My pleat. And then same thing, it grows down that way. So I'm gonna pick this up and get the flat on there and slowly.
It's almost like the back end of his blade is touching her skin. That's how close he is, you know.
So like, over here there's a little bit more. I'm gonna go in here and lift this right up.
And staying flat.
You see how soft that is? It's like shaved but not shaved or whatever.
It's really pretty.
And you might like spend quite a bit of time on this little part because it's gonna be exposed. It's either gonna be exposed or it's gonna be shaved, right? And if I have it exposed, I wanna make sure that I'm not, because I could just like cut too much and then there'd be a hole and you'd see like a shaved chunk. So I'm trying to like keep it soft because like, again, I might think that looks pretty later, like with the haircut. Does all that make sense? Any questions? Anybody? So now, here's this like hairline right here, right? So I'm just gonna take a little, because this whole area I'm gonna really melt and just get rid of it. It's not really gonna be a part of the line so much. And then, all right. So again, I'm gonna kind of like look at this. Can I do this? And I might pull out some more.
I always feel like this is one of those haircuts where there's so much setup and getting, before we get to our first line, but then once you get the line in there, it seems to go so much faster. And
Yeah. And I'm trying to just like think of this like melting that I want to do right now, and like wondering, like, I still don't think I'm ready to create a line yet. Maybe I think I want to keep melting this some. Like, I want to keep melting this a little bit.
Show them what that looks like before you throw it.
Oh, sorry.
Next time.
Okay. I just like heard you right as I threw it. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, it's real. That one's kind of hard to see. It's so little. I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do one more right here. Yeah. So, and I'm okay with it getting a little longer right now, but I'm still using the flat here a little bit. It's like, it's a little bit of an edge, but a little bit of the flat still. Oh, I see. Like this? Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then same with this side. I'm gonna, they're kind of like, this middle part was kind of doing its own thing from that to this. So I'm like gonna just let that stay out for now. This is kind of getting in my way, which happens, so I'm gonna comb it over so it doesn't get in my way. Sweet. So now I'm gonna do this one. There you go. Are you okay? Am I making you moving your neck too much? And it's kind of hard to get on the flat over here, so I'm like really having to open it up. Sweet. This is feeling good. And then I'm going to take these pieces. I'm going to melt them too. Gotta be real careful because you could just really just go right through and completely get rid of it.
Yeah.
Gotta be like real,
Yeah, this is where
real gentle, like mindful. Get your motor going before you get in there. And I know this is kind of becoming a point, but I'm just trying to really look at how it's all growing here.
It really is like such a finesse with that to keep it super soft and healthy.
Yeah.
Yes. It is. You have to be patient. Slow down. You see how he keeps moving it side, like from one side to the other side. He's just looking for anything else that stands out to him that he needs to soften.
I mean, it looks kind of cool, right? Like, but I might, and I might completely like later shave this, and I've just wasted so much time.
He's just trying to remind you guys that that might all be gone.
Yeah.
But
I'm like really just kind of getting in there and like getting to know it.
I feel like it's a little meditative too, right?
Yeah.
Like a little ASMR.
Oh, I was traveling with my friend recently, and she put on this like YouTube video, and I was like, it was like someone like tapped, and I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And she's like, oh, this is what I fall asleep to, and I was like, what? People just tapping their nails on tables, like. I was like, oh, all right. I'm like, I like a fan, but okay.
How'd they find that out?
It actually kind of was like a little bit. So yeah, I don't know. Let's just like let that be that way for a minute and see what it ends up doing as I come down more. Obviously, like, you know, things change as you go. So then I'm gonna go a little higher up. And I think I might be able to start a line here, but I might even do more cutting it all off too. Just gotta look at it. You know, and then I can also like take her and have her look up, sit up straight. And then I can look at that hairline that I created and like look at where her chin is and where everything is and, you know,
Getting eye level.
get to know it. Sorry, I'm right in front of this camera. Let me not do that. All right. So I'm just continuing to get this out of my way. So now I have this. I'm gonna wet it again. And once I get going, it's gonna be much faster. I think I'm gonna start creating a little bit of a line here. And now that point, right, that's the thing that's gonna be exposed. So I'm starting to think of that again. And I wanna see where that point is hanging out according to her hairline, or her chin. And it's like right here. So I can like take the comb and like go around and see. I'm gonna turn her around. Oh yeah. So like, where is it at? Okay. See, there's that little point right there, right? And I'm gonna take it and come around, and it's like, goes kind of right to her chin. So I might end up having to like really cut that short more, but.
Are you going to cut the line above the point, your first guide?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to figure that out. I think because the point's a little bit long, right? It's kind of below her chin. So I think I'm gonna start cutting that above that. So then I'm gonna end up going in here and really shortening this some more.
Yeah. I mean, it might look cute, like you said. It might be fine sticking out of her bob. But you'll be the judge.
Yeah, I think I want to diffuse a little bit more. Can you see that? You got your right shoulder. It's just like really trying to figure this out, right? Because if this part's exposed, it can't look like. I'm already feeling like I want to just like shave it off. All right, let's start this. Okay, and I'm gonna elevate this section kind of all the way out because I want this to kind of be melted still because I kind of do want to establish the line a little higher or like right at it. So I'm gonna hold this out. And I'm using the edge here, but like pretty broad stroke. I'm just gonna kind of melt this off and see how soft it looks when I'm done, and when it lays, what kind of a line it's creating. Holding it straight out, putting it in, the little edge, pretty broad stroke.
We have a comment from online from D saying that they love the point.
Oh, cool.
That looks beautiful.
So, here's this. And there's kind of like a line forming, but it's soft, right?
Looks great. Nicholas would always say that people's hairlines and their growth patterns and everything are like fingerprints. So they're all very unique to each individual, and I really love that.
Yeah,
It's
right?
pretty. It's pretty to see like the different growth patterns in the hairline when they're all short like that.
So yeah, I'm just kind of like melting all this, right? Like it's just real soft. It's nice. Now I can go in and take another, so like look, let's look at it again, right? Let's see here. Am I in the way? No, yeah. So like this, I'm constantly kind of doing this at the beginning.
You have to though. You have to keep measuring.
So, like-
you might mess up if you don't.
So like this could come around like right here and it'll kind of be like by her chin, by her lip. So there is that like kind of line right here, right? So I'm feeling good about that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. More section. Comb it out of the way. Drama. I keep thinking there's sunglasses on my ears and they're gonna fall off. The speaker thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa. Don't lose my glasses in the lake. It's just the mic. Okay. Let's get that wet again. Isn't it kind of crazy how this takes forever down here, right? It's like, when are you gonna?
No, it's good. It's just like setting up. You're setting up your. There's a lot to think about, Like how short am I going? Where is it?
I'm still gonna like
What's
take
my
this
line?
section. I'm still gonna take this section and hold it straight out to create softness. And I'm still not gonna
You're
add
not
that.
starting your one length
Still not.
heavy bob yet.
Yeah, no, I wanted to keep it a little more soft underneath here. Maybe not straight out, I might do more of a kind of graduation back here. Get my motor going, right? Like before I get in there. And then once I feel like I got it going good, I'll start touching the hair. See how like soft that is?
Mm-hmm.
Hello? Hi. Okay. These are those like broader strokes. I think after this one I might be able to start doing the hairline.
So really, he hasn't even gotten to his first bob section yet. These are just the setup to tuck that nape in.
Like, you know, and like Karina's is shaved underneath, kind of like pretty short, like scissor over comb. And like I could even maybe do that. Like I'm like leaving some length here to like see what it could be, but there's a possibility that I like even go in here and scissor over comb with later, you know, like
Even
if
tighter.
it's bothering me or something. But I like to like, you know, take it in the steps, right?
That's beautiful. It's just,
Thank you.
I think that's the whole allure of the razor is that there's a structure there, but when you move it, you can't tell where things are coming from. It just, that melting together is just always so beautiful to the eye.
So see how like it's kind of fun, like just taking sections down from the little comb over the ear drama. All right, all right, all right. Oh. Kumi. Okay. So, here I go again. I'm gonna look at this. Put your head up straight. Yeah, yeah, there you go. All right, so, I'm gonna close this. No, I don't. I like how I'm at right now. Cool. So I'm gonna start the line right here, right? Like right here, because I kind of do want it to be like around her chin. I think that's suitable for her. Suitability. Karina likes talking about suitability.
Aaron, if you wanted to go up higher with that line like between the chin and the lip, to keep melting this section that you have.
Possibly, yeah.
And
Like if you wanted to go up to like her cheek or
if
something.
you wanted to be much more severe with it.
Yeah, because then you'll end up doing like.
Even just between,
Like here?
yeah, even just between like the lip and the jaw.
Yeah.
Because right now you're right at the jaw.
I would start the bob line where I would want that to go. So like, I don't know. There's so many different ways you can cut a bob, but with a razor, you're supposed to cut each section longer than the previous.
Right.
But you don't have to. That's like the general rule of thumb, but then you can start breaking those rules when you're trying to get those really short bobs. And like, Kate just recently did this where she's like, took one section a little bit shorter and then one like coming over it, but then one going back. So it's like how he said he's playing around with like his stroke. Like I'm gonna do a really soft one, then I'm gonna do a really strong one. And so just so that you can stay, I think the important thing that Aaron doesn't want is graduation, right? Like you want that last section to be like a one length blunt,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, exactly.
So everything else just has to fall under it. And sometimes I'll start my bob line back there above the hairline, like a box bob. you
Yeah.
know? Like that's a Sassoon reference, but like taking up the nape and then just ignoring the nape and starting your bob where you want it to be.
Yeah, so
Above everything.
I'm gonna like start her line like right here because this is the piece that I liked when I was looking at it. And I think I'm gonna start it now, but I would, like if you wanted to go up higher, yeah, you would just start your line where you wanna see it. So all this stuff underneath you could either like do like graduation or like shave it or undercut it or scissor over comb it or
Or take out like tons of
take
weight
tons
removal.
of weight out and let it be a little choppy underneath there.
Just to like be able to not have so much hair to have to cut short. Because sometimes it's like, oh no, now I'm longer than I want to be, right? Is that how you feel like sometimes?
Yeah. So I am gonna like use a little less, like a little more of a medium stroke here. And I'm just gonna, and I'm losing my tension, so I'm gonna stop.
Just turn slightly.
And there's my guide, pull it out. like a medium stroke. So yeah, so like all this stuff is going to be revealed later. So, you know, I'm still going to figure out what to do with that still later. But it is pretty soft. I don't know, it might be kind of cool. Like I'll...
I like it.
Can I come over here? I can cut right here, right? Sorry for you guys behind me. Okay. Oh, that's right, I forgot it. I always forget about that, okay. TV, it's right next to me.
You can roll this closer to you too.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna grab this out, see my section, slide past, let it fall out.
Take both of you one step to your right. To your right.
Is that better?
Yep.
Slide past, start cutting, and I'm not sliding my hand, I'm keeping my hand taut and creating a straight line. Somewhat of a straight line, it's jiggity jaggedy.
Are you kind of resting your hand like on her?
Yeah, I am. So then I can go through and
That's kind of what I do to
Just
your hairline. Is I
double
really
check.
like do a lot of that to it.
now I can like feel, does it feel symmetrical? It feels symmetrical. Sweet. Oh, those little hairs always bother me. I'm like, go away. Oh yeah, it looks cool, right? Yeah. It's like, sometimes it's like you're up here like cutting in front of everybody and you're like being like, everyone's like, you're like, gosh, it better look good. And then you like look up and you're like, oh wow, it does look good. You're like, great.
You do have to do that sometimes. You have to stand away from your work and look at it because you can get into that
Yes.
zone of like, it looks awful. And,
Yeah.
and you judge yourself and then you look back and you're like, actually, it looks great.
Yeah, you're like, oh, okay. Sweet. Okay, so clean, good, sighting. We're getting up in this cut now, right?
Yeah, it's starting to move along. There's foundation in there. Just kidding.
Did you put it in there? I need to go take a shower. All right. So
What are you thinking?
I'm like not so worried right now about a little bit of graduation at this part of the haircut. I'm gonna be more focused on like dropping my section or being real cautious of that at the top of the head. I'm kind of okay with like a little graduating underneath. I feel like it's gonna like create more of that like that flow
French-
or the flow,
French
right?
vibe?
Yeah, the French. So I'm gonna like kind of cut right at my line, so it'll create a little graduation, but it'll be subtle. Does that make sense? So there, I just.
Shoulder.
Ah, how rude. Okay.
Okay. 10 and 2.
You got it? Got you? Okay.
You guys are always better next.
Am I better now? Okay. So slide past my guide, and right when it falls out, I'm just gonna like be like right there. Losing my what do you call it? My
Tension?
attention.
So you didn't elevate there, did you?
No.
No elevating. I mean, it's like, when I'm pulling, there's like, what was that?
You're creating a graduation with the stroke now?
Well, just, there's a little bit of graduation with a razor when you don't drop the section and cut below it. Because cutting with the razor automatically creates graduation. So that's what I meant by that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you feel like it automatically creates graduation because you're... Sorry, do you feel like you are automatically creating graduation because you're slightly pulling out like your fingers to cut or like to put the razor in?
I'm creating a slight bit of graduation just because I'm cutting right at my line. Because the razor kind of naturally does it. And I'm not really holding the section out. I'm cutting it at natural fall. Like this, it's maybe coming out a little bit because my finger, but above the occipital bone, you know, the head rounds. So even though I'm touching my fingers, it's not elevating it, it's still staying flat. Does that make sense? Did that answer the question?
And when you're trying to create one length with the razor, the way to do that is to drop past previous.
Your guide. A cup below it, right below it.
Yeah, just a little below it.
A little bit.
So that way it doesn't jump up and over the previous section, you know what I mean? So that's what he's doing by cutting to his previous guide, is it's jumping up a little bit shorter than the previous. And like, even remember when you're using tension, you're creating graduation, right? Like there's just lots of ways to create graduation with the razor because it just does it naturally.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, I know I'm like drama with moving your head around. But it's
You just did this cut on your friend recently, and what was your inspo? Was that the inspo, the one you showed us?
Yeah, she had another picture that was like pretty similar.
I want you to show us your friend's picture too when you get a chance.
Okay, do you want me to do it now?
That was really cute too.
Do you want me to do it now? Right
No,
now?
I mean, no.
Okay.
I think
We'll
we'll
do
do
it
it
later.
in a little bit. I'll remind you.
Right now? Right now? You want to finish the haircut?
How about now?
I'll go find it.
I do want to finish.
Right? It's fun.
So about 21 more minutes.
Bente uno. I better hurry up. Okay. I'm so sorry. It's taking forever. No, I'm not. I'm being dramatic. Okay. So, right, like, and maybe this one's gonna become like slightly crooked, right? Maybe that'll be cool. Maybe. Okay, I'll lawnmower right through the rest of this.
That's what you keep saying. Yeah, I do that too. I'm like, and this side's gonna be real time, and it's like the same exact time.
Lies, honey, lies and illusions, right?
The bobs are like, they're just, you know, you got to think about them the whole way through, because especially if you're not trying to get longer in the front, you know, and you're trying to keep that straight line, which I think makes it look really cool.
So I just like took that section, I'm still not using clips, right? I just took that section, rolled it up, and okay, so now I'm like sectioning the front of the ear out and then putting this back. And this is gonna prevent some like holes and stuff. You know how like if I kept it over the ear, you cut it and the ear will pop it up and it creates a hole. I'm gonna prevent that by sectioning it like that right there.
So that little bit of
drama.
over direction helps to create,
Huh? No, it's okay. Where did I cut? I was cutting right here.
yeah, that's great.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, maybe I do need a clip. I got one. Thank you though. It's like I wouldn't need one if I wasn't trying to like make her head be so perfect for the rude camera.
Camera's
So the
fault.
camera like made me use the clip, so yeah. All right. I'm not saying you're rude.
Steve's like, I didn't say it, the camera said it.
So I'm just dropping a little bit past my guide now to like see like what's going on with this like bulk heaviness. I'm just gonna drop a little bit past it now. Slightly past, my section dropped out. And I'm just gonna cut it straight across.
This area here, watch how Aaron gets the heel of his blade, using the edge of the blade.
So right now it's so important that her head, so if her head's down and I cut the line, it's gonna go round. If her head's up and I cut the line, it's gonna go A. So I want her head straight because I want it straight. And then I think I need to lift her up some now. Because I will get like down on my knees and cut her too because I'm crazy. Did it go? Did it get up there?
It is. I wasn't sure. I was like, is it lifted?
So, okay, now I'm gonna comb that section back.
Okay, watch how he gets the heel in.
Yeah, I had a question about when you're going up with the blade, is it also cutting the hair or is it only on the down?
It's
Wait, what was that?
Only on the down because it's not doesn't have a blade on both sides. It only has the blade on the bottom side, so it only cuts when you go down.
Okay.
When you go up, it's just restarting. And if you think about, remember when I was talking about like shark teeth versus very feathery lines? So remember the point that you enter with the razor, you could call point A, and then point B where you finish could be the target length. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So point A, you go in, point B, you finish, and then you go back up to point A and go down to point B. So it looks like,
Okay.
but it doesn't cut up. It only cuts down.
It only cuts down.
So then I can pull this back section from the ear. I can pull it out. Now I'm starting to sweat. Y'all are making me sweat now.
Oh yeah, I guess.
This silk shirt. So I only have 15 minutes. Okay, so let that front piece of the ear come out and then keep her head straight. Perfect. All right, let me do this other side. And then when I get, like I'm kind of almost like only have 3 sections left really. Now that I've created this line here. I'm gonna cut this way. See, I could like, when I usually do this haircut with scissors, but I like it with the razor.
It's the same thing. Remember Jordan came in, Jordan M, and he was like, I usually do this with scissors, and we forced him to do it with the razor too.
Well, he did clippers and then razor.
Yeah, that's right.
I like
he did the-
clippering, but I love doing clippers for Bob too.
That's really no frills, right? No frills, it's just like zoop. Done. This one has secrets in it. This bob.
I'm
Little
gonna
secrets
do the
under there.
same thing.
So he's over-directing what lives above the ear and not flat in front of the ear. So like the sideburn you leave alone, but the hair that doesn't really lay flat because it can't because the ear's there, then you just over-direct it behind the ear.
Do you find that like over directing behind the ear versus tapping over, like do you find that over directing back is more accurate or just
I feel
depends?
like it works really well if you don't over direct too much. I think
Yeah.
that's the other thing is like you're over directing it, but then you're just letting it fall behind the ear instead of over directing it a lot, you know, because if you over direct too much, then you get that longer length. So if you're trying to get that straight length, then, you know, really cut it where it lives. It's a slightly over directed, and so it slightly gets longer. And I think it works, you know. I also don't mind doing the tap over the ear
Is
too.
it earring? No. Okay. What? You said what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, but I
like
think it's still there, right? Oh wait, it's not in here. though,
Yeah.
right? Is it in this ear? No. Oh, I see it. This little one. I see it. Okay, okay. It's in your. I forget what you call that. Yeah. It's like that was the hair was tangled. I thought it was the earring. You guys feel free to ask. Am I getting too quiet now? I'm not saying anything.
No,
I'm
you're
like,
fine.
I'm like, I gotta get this done.
You do have to get it done.
Oh.
I can talk for you, whatever you want me to say.
I don't know, whatever you like. Right? Let's see here.
Checking for balance.
Is it like super asymmetrical now? Oh, it feels pretty good.
Luke, it's the Luke.
It's like, is it a little long right here? I don't think so. Let's just go in and cut the line. Okay, so I'm gonna keep cutting.
No,
Balance,
Yesenia, you
balance.
look beautiful with this shorter length.
Actually, I think we can just do 2 sections now. Take this out. Take this out.
So you're going from high recession to crown.
You betcha. And then I'm gonna just. All right, get all this.
And that's your section that you want to keep really one length
Really
and blunt.
blunt. Finger.
You need more water?
No, it's I'm being a wimp. Here, let me use this hand.
Aaron got injured yesterday, but don't be scared.
I was fine. All right, am I in the way here? No. Sounds good. Just out of my way.
So C7, that's the part down the center I talk about. Like part down the center, you start with your heel one way and your tip the other way. Medium stroke. Are you dropping past your previous still?
A little, but
Just
barely.
a little drop.
I think it's like right underneath it.
Just a baby
That's
drop.
a little long. Move it around.
You step to your left. And the only weight removal that you're really doing is on the stroke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll create softness, but I think for his last section, well, I don't know what you're gonna do, Aaron, but he said that his last section he wanted really, really blunt, so he's gonna like shorten his stroke.
I know, I almost want to use a scissor on it, but I won't.
I feel like you could, why not? So, are you going for a certain look? Yeah, I love that. Ramona did this crazy trick that I tried, and I was like so terrified that I was gonna cut my finger off. Because she puts the razor if she's trying to do something really blunt, she places the razor on the line and then just moves her finger away with the razor on the hair. So she just takes it away and then it leaves like the bluntest line.
Wait, what?
Like a roll, right? It's a roll.
I'm confused.
Makes sense.
It's on the video, you have to watch the app.
Okay.
Yeah. She just like puts the hair there and goes, it's almost like the potato peeler that we used to do with the razor.
It makes so much sense when you see it being done, and then you're like, that's easy, and then you try to do it, and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
it's
I'm like,
not.
I'm scared. I'm like, just kidding, I'm not doing that. I do want to try it though. Have you tried it?
I have.
Yeah, what do you think?
It's scary.
Yeah.
You're literally putting, like you're putting the razor right onto your like knuckle basically
Yes.
and like rolling it. So it is on there. And
Because you have to hold it tight, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise it won't cut it.
right.
So you are like, it's so counterintuitive.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't want to pull on it tight with the razor on my finger. But I want to try that. We should try it together.
Let's do it.
Like, show me how again, because I
Yeah.
totally forget.
I don't know, should I like do the, oh wait, I have it this way. Should I do like a scissor? What do you think I should do? Let's look at this.
I would do it. If you want to do it, do it. It's fun.
I love how it's hitting right at her lip.
Yeah, with that little bend. It's really pretty.
How much time do I have? -2? 5 minutes. Oh, okay. Here we is. Okay, yeah, maybe I will just do the scissor. We did the whole razor, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
Let's do scissors.
do it.
I know it's like the long and the short of the razor.
Are you going to do
little
blunt
bit of
scissor,
scissor.
or are you going to do point cutting scissor?
I think I want to do like extremely blunt. Like that's otherwise I would just use the razor. I feel like, right?
All right.
Is that weird?
No.
I mean, I could always go in and soften it up, right?
No. I just mean, do what you do. Do what you want to do.
Follow your heart.
The heart wants what the heart wants.
The heart sometimes don't know what it wants. Just joking. Okay. Natural fall, right? Is that the drama here? My favorite word. Wait. Oh, scissors. Those are like hidden.
Those are over there. They have a swivel thumb. He's borrowing my scissors. Swivel thumb is kind of hard to get used to.
Swivel thumb is weird. All right. Like,
Like, okay. Those are our words. Like, okay.
and I'm gonna just like go right underneath here, right below it, right? And like it might not be like super perfect sassoon, but it's like gonna be cool.
Yeah, well, right when we saw the picture of Yesenia, we were like, short bob. Short one length bob.
It's a Bob inspiration.
Yes.
You know, I'm not like obsessing, like there's this like line right here, right? So like I guess I can go in and get that, but also like, I don't know, it's gonna bounce up. I don't like to get too like
I like it. It's looking so
fussed.
good.
Oh. Okay. See that line underneath it? And I'm just gonna go. Psh. There's this little dude.
Did you ever assist Ward?
Yeah, I loved assisting Ward.
Did you ever do any cutting while you were?
Yeah, I think so.
He's the guy that did. Ward is the guy that did.
2 minutes.
Okay.
He created grooming
He
cream.
did the Emil Yokovich's hair for development.
Yes, he did that.
Yeah.
He did that, and he also did Linda Evangelista's bob in our inspo video that we showed yesterday. Linda Evangelista's little tiny little bob and bangs. He cut that. The bad bob. He did the bad bob. So anyway, he has this cool way of cutting where it's not perfect, and I think that perfect is like really beautiful, right? Like when you look at Sassoon or you watch some of those and you're just like, wow, that is so perfect, right? And that is beautiful, and you should know how to do that. I think what's harder is to create something that is imperfect
And just as beautiful.
and be okay with it. Like let it be, right?
I think it's about finding that resolution where everything's resolved.
Like what do you mean?
Meaning, if it's not going to be perfect, then it still has to be resolved. That has to make sense, right? You know,
Right.
the texture has to make sense with the shape that you cut, and yeah, that's a different kind of. It's like an organic perfection.
Yeah, and it looks good and it's suitable and it works. Like you're right, it has to work and it has to fit that person, you know? You have to believe it.
I like it.
It's beautiful.
You come to the edge of this chair. Like, thank you. Oh, yeah.
I love a bob with no bangs. So good.
I kind of like could get used to those little swivelly swivs.
They're fun. So bringing it forward and kind of going around the whole face shape. Like a lot of things that we're taught when we're learning our bobs is you can't do that, right? So it's about breaking free from the rules, because I think as a hair cutter, everything you learn is so that you can cut hair, not so that you can do haircuts.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Oh, was that, were we told that? I don't
So that
remember.
you don't have to
Did I just-
repeat haircuts you
You can
learned.
sit back now.
It's supposed to teach you how to cut hair, right? So you can make different choices. And
Were we told not to do that? I don't remember that.
well, I was Sassoon, so when I was training,
They're like,
it was
that's
the
weird.
4-hour bob, and it had to be one length, and you had to put the the mirror underneath it and check to see that it was all one length, no weight removal. It was just like very militant, but it's like that's how they show you how to do something.
So the hairline, right? There's that. I kind of like the point, right?
Leave it. It's so good. That makes it so unique.
Should we just like leave all of it, right?
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Any other question?
Questions? Leave it to
Bringing
me. Oh, we
those
have a
front
question.
bits to the front, like around the face, does that just kind of round that like a slight?
Wait, what happened? I wasn't listening.
Like when you brought it to the front and just kind of cut there, what is that?
Why was I
How
doing
does that make? How does that sit when it is on the side? I guess like.
It was a little like, it was a lot longer.
Okay. Oh, so it's just.
So I was just cutting the extra length off.
Okay.
And I was just like looking at the other side with it.
Okay.
Like it was a little too long on one side. So I just brought it forward and just cut the point off a little.
Maybe to check for balance as well.
Okay.
So we're out of time. I'm going to bring my model up. Julia, come on up and have a seat here.
Oh, here, do you want your glasses? Yeah.
That's what I get off that.
See what the glasses is. So cute. Ooh, it looks good. Also, I really like, I love a really deep part on short bobs. I don't know which side is better. This side, I don't know, can't tell. But. Oh yes, I like it.
I'm applying a little bit of oil on these ends. And just gonna shake it out a little bit. I tried under the hood, loose. I think that the product looks good.
Sometimes I use the balm from Colton King for eye cream.
Oh, really?
It's like got caffeine and stuff in it. It's like really good for under your eyes. You just got to be careful because it's like, yeah. You're like.
Sometimes I like to finish curly hair after it's totally dry, like the finish, just so I can see how it dries and what I like.
Dee says, looks so good, and thank you, Erin and Karina, for today's class.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Who said that? Who is that?
Dee from online.
Watching.
Oh, hey Dee.
Yep, thanks for tuning in
Dee.
today with us.
Can you stand up a sec?
Set her bangs a little straighter than probably they'll always be. And so they feel a little too long. So I'm just cutting them a little bit. And sometimes with the razor it's fun because you don't have to cut everything, you can just cut some pieces. And they blend away into the longer pieces, so you don't feel like you have a whole new haircut to do.
I mean, this is really freaking cute on you. Okay, you can sit down. I just like want it to dry just like that.
Are you gonna put her under the hair dryer?
Should I? Or I think it'll just be good. Did you see? Can you see? You feeling it? Feeling it? And then like, it'll just get bigger and bigger, right? And this would also look cool if you just like shaved it off too, but I think it looks cool. It's like a little like,
Just a little
kind of
peekaboo.
messy, like, but
Yeah, it just gives you a little peekaboo.
kind of cool.
Yeah, it really it looks beautiful.
But the look of her hair is just like bangs and bits and long layers. And here, back here, she has a lot of density, so I'm just kind of trying to soften it a little bit. So she has straighter pieces in here, they're just straighter. So I'm taking them a little shorter.
Ooh, Karina, that looks so good. Did Brett come here?
Yeah, he did come here.
Does your tension change when you are lasering on a dryer?
What do you think? Hold on, let me just do it. It's still tight. It's still tight tension. So not really. I don't feel like it does. Sometimes I do though. I don't know. It just depends. Like holding it tight. Some hair you cannot do this on. You'll know when you try. It'll be like hot roll. Yeah.
What hair is that?
It'll be like firecrackers. My hair, for sure. Taliana's hair is not like that either. Any kind of hair that is like more coarse on the coarse side and has a little more like wiry feeling to it, isn't like that. Or like even really glossy, glassy, straight hair that's just so straight, and you go and try to do it, just like does turn white.
No, but you can do it on my hair, and it does well.
Your
At times.
hair, you can cut your hair dry.
Yeah.
There's like really fine hair, like skinny strands, or like hair that's just like, you know, and always just try it. If it doesn't work, then just switch your tool, you know?
We're 10 over.
Okay, that's it, guys.
Okay, bye. See you later.
Moving it around, just trying to see like the wearing the hair up. These like cute little pieces that fall out. And she can always pick which ones she wants to drop out. You know?
I love these ones. It's like,
Yeah, she can pull all
it's like
that
that's,
back.
I feel like it was reminding me of like the Loretta Lynn song. I'm a country girl, said a country girl. You're looking at me,
All right.
you're looking at me, you're looking at country.
Now you can just, you know, move it all around. She's probably getting mad at it. I like how it looks. It's just a little like breaking up the cast a bit. Yeah, and I feel like you'll just need a bang trim probably in about 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. So you could always book that here by calling. And then, but your hair will look really cute for a while. right. You can go ahead and stand up and we'll move the chairs out of the way.
I know, I took forever. Oh, here.
Fine. And then just stand right here, center, face the camera. Face the left, turn to your left. And then turn to the wall. Put your hair behind your back if you have it. Then take a look at the wall. So you guys can see the shape of the layers now that it's totally dry. You can see how it does sort of cascade back. Yeah? All right, thank you guys.
We're gonna take picture.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Here's the upcoming events again. Save the dates. July 17th and 18th is coming up real soon. This is advanced razor. So if you're really great with your razor and you want a little bit more inspiration, hope to see you here July 17th and 18th. August 14th and 15th, that's going to be scissor and razor. And we have Debbie Alley and Dante Pronio as educators. And then September 11th and 12th, we have Razor Boot Camp. This class is going to be great for those beginners. So if you have any beginners, send them on over to the studio. Thank you so much.